Hey Jeep family, Neil with SFJ4x4.com for your Tech Tuesday follow-up and what's going on in the shop. Behind me is Jeff the Italian Stallion, and he is getting this really trick best top for the, this is an LJ behind us. He's getting that installed. So it's actually a pretty intensive process to get it all in. We're catching up with him right here at the end. So a really neat Jeep. I'm gonna get just kind of a side shot here. It's kind of all blacked out. It's got this really, slick, full soft top at this point. This is a complete replacement top. This Jeep came in with basically a, like a bikini top on, and that was it. It has the back seats removed, got a really neat lock box. And it's just a really clean LJ 6-speed, which I love. It's just really well set up. It's just a cool daily driver, and it's very clean, and I'm digging it. And Jeff's done a really nice job getting this top laid out. It's a complete replacement top. And fun fact, a little trivia piece is this bar here that I'm touching. This didn't come factory in 2004, so the LJs is only produced between 04 and 6. And in 04, you had a complete, this panel would have been all window. And what they discovered was that there's actually a support bar on the other side of this. And that support bar actually chafed against the window itself. And that's really bad juju in the winter when this gets really cold and tight, especially here in the Great Lakes, the upper Midwest, up into Canada. And that bar would actually break through the window. So, neat little fun fact for you. LJ trivia you may never need to know. And again, this came stock in 05 and 06. And now, this best up, it's comes with it right out of the gate. So, really cool LJ. Top's coming on beautifully, looks nice. We have this array of Jeeps, here. And it's just neat, nice looking TJ over here on Goodyear Wranglers, Duratrax, which is an awesome tire. And so we did a full-size spare, relocation bracket. It's getting just some quality maintenance, trying to clean up the some of the leaks, and just kind of keep up on the maintenance for that customer. Chase down some radiator leaks and whatnot. Over here, you'll notice this one is one that has been in and out a lot of times, has been all over the country. It's just an awesome Jeep. And a lot of people always ask, and so I'll just point it out right away. This is a Gobi Rack. You can actually see it say that Gobi right there. And that's really not what it's in for. It's going to be getting a Optima yellow top, ARB compressor, twin tank air compressor on a Terraflex bracket under the passenger seat side over here. It has JKS flex joint, lower control arms. It's getting a steering upgrade. So it's got a lot of goodies for this particular Jeep. And this, big shout out to the couple that owns it. They actually just picked up a really sweet 4xe. And so this one's getting a break right now. And they're going to be wheeling the 4xe for the next couple weeks. I believe they're headed west. So while they're headed that way, we've got it worked into our service rotation. This particular LJ has been in for a while. Really wicked build. It's kind of a mess right now. We've had to address the radiator a couple times. As I mentioned before, typically when we do our bigger builds, when we split the Jeep, we actually add a integrated body and body mount and body lift, 1 inch, and it gives us just a hair bit of clearance. Well, we never split this Jeep, despite the fact that this now has a JK Ultimate 44 front axle, a JK rear axle. It's got a triangulated 4-link and a 3-link in the front, and all of that's from Iron Rock Off-Road. Really wildly awesome long arm suspension. We brought in this Moto-built super stubby bumper. The anti-rock. Right now we're building a custom drag link that's going to help give us all the clearance we need. And we're using a bunch of Artec rod end and misalignment spacer technology. And then we have that big Rusty's tie rod there pulling, holding the tires together. And of course, that's going to be assisted by that PSC steering ram. What we did with this Mishimoto, because of running into that clearance issues that I mentioned, is we actually sent that radiator out and we cut off a small portion of the lower tank itself. So now this tank is in for good. We cut it off and then we had our TIG shop clean it back up. Big shout out to them. They did a wonderful job, cleaned it right up. You would never know we were in there, but now there's actually a whole corner that is just kind of moved over. So we lost, you know, maybe a cup of coolant capacity, but that's really nominal because the Mishimoto already has oversized, fully welded aluminum tanks, and they're just awesome. So we made room for this PSC steering box and the hydraulic assist lines there. And then obviously we have the ARB compressor on top, and we're figuring out where and how to route the lines for it. And big shout out to Tuffy, because has a Tuffy full center console that has come in, and we did an install, and our performance mechanic actually built like a super tiny little box, sub box, to occupy the interior space of the Tuffy console, and made it look just absolutely perfect. Stay right there, and I'm gonna grab something. We did a DS18 6.9 double DIN touchscreen stereo in here, and this is a really cool, this DS18 X2. This is an amp, and look how small it is. I mean, that's just barely the size of my palm. You know, maybe a little bigger than a deck of cards. It's just awesome, and this is going to power our amp, you know, super well, and it's really compact. We're going to make sure that it's environmentally sealed up under that console, and that's going to help us with the beats. Leave that there. We'll swing around the other side here. So I was going to talk about this. This is actually a build that's coming down the pipe. This is a full Icon suspension build. So we're doing, this is the last Ultimate 44 with 48 gears and ARB compressor in the country. So we brought that in out of South Carolina. It's getting a twin tank. We got the rear ARB locker to match it. We've got Fox, full Fox reservoir, adjustable shocks there, and this is a complete Steer Smarts steering assembly for the front of that Jeep. So that's coming in the very near future. We'll step back into the land of CJs, and we have just a little bit of stuff, you know, a little bit of stuff everywhere, and we're really working through our to-do list with all of our Jeeps. Scott did a wonderful job doing a full reman on the transfer case for the hashtag not a restoration build. It's coming together really well. We had an opportunity last Saturday. That was a really cool surprise for the customer for his birthday. His wife, big shout out to her, got him a die-cast model of his Jeep, and got it shipped in here to our facility. Scott actually disassembled it, sent it out to the paint shop. The paint shop painted it his exact color that matches his Jeep, and the body's currently there in storage. And we positioned it right there on top of the motor so that when the customer came, he kind of walked around to see how his Jeep build was going, and there was his scale model. Because of course, once it came back from paint, the little body about this big, Scott reassembled it and made it look just like his Jeep's going to look. Really, really cool stuff. We have this one here, which is just a really neat Jeep, kind of a throwback resto, kind of a resto mod, and it's got the dash, the full painless steering, or the painless wiring is all laid out. Stereo's going in, sealed it up so that it's not leaking so badly. And Scott's just keeping him picking away on that one, and the yellow beach cruiser back there. This has been our priority most recently as far as CJs are concerned. Spent the most time on this one, and we got the replacement gas tank from Arizona, and Scott did wonderful metal work on it. I don't know if we've got some, can do some footage or a picture of what Scott was working on, but it still had a little pinholes and stuff, and Scott went ahead and did wonderful metal work and got it solid, patched up, painted. as far as the tank set in place. Got a new strap for over the tank, so everything's right as rain and fresh and new. And we're on the final reassembly of this specific Jeep. But curveball, we might actually be doing a Holley Sniper fuel injection system on it. So that would be, I don't know, like the fourth one happening. Maybe. We'll see. You'll have to tune back in and see if that's if that customer decides to bite that off now, and if we go forward on that. Outside, we've got an engine transmission swap. We've got a full kind of a clean TJ that just needs, remedied up. Greg worked on it a week ago and did, rust buster frame repair underneath of it. We've got a re-gear that's, re-gear, steering, suspension, the whole 9 yards on that job. We've got a really sweet Comanche out front. Just a boatload of cool projects, a couple motor swaps. So as always, things are moving along really nicely here. We're always staying very busy. Forward progress is great progress. Big thank you to all of our customers, for you guys who are tuning in. Is there something cool that you want to see more of? Is there something that you would like us to dive more into and explain what or why or how something is working the way it is? Let us know. Let us know in the comments. If you got a project you'd like us to work on or give feedback on, mention that in the comments, or obviously call into us or visit us at sfj4x4.com. Until then, Jeep family, Jeep on.
So we have something that's kind of special for a late CJ here. It is an option to have a 20-gallon plastic gas tank. And sadly, no one is reproducing the skid plate to hold that 20-gallon gas tank. So if you're listening and you want to do that, make one. This is actually from Arizona skid, and the downfall of these is they're completely enclosed and they hold all the water, the dirt, the mud over the time, and they slowly put pinholes down through here. As you can see on the back side of this, this is what the outside looks like after blasting. This is the inside where it's got the pits. And the one that came off this Jeep was so bad that once you sandblast it, there would have been nothing left of this complete side. So what we have done here is I took this, as was a flat piece of steel, and I cut out my bad metal, and I'm making it slightly bigger than what it was. And then this is already a patch I have made here, and a patch I have made here, and I will have to make another one here. The reason I am making them the sizes I am instead of having one long piece is because I had some holes up here, but that was solid here. So I'm only doing where it's necessary. So my goal will be for this to slip in from behind, and I will do a series of small tacks around, and then finally I will grind this patch down a little bit and then weld up that seam. So here, if you wait a few minutes, I'll get this set up and you can watch me tack this part on. So how I am doing this is you're welding onto the thick stuff onto the thin, and I am slowly welding along down. And what I'm doing is I'm letting that weld go from orange to cool, and then I strike my next arc. That's why I'm doing a little bit of a tack, so that I'm building off my other weld. When you have a really thin piece of steel, that's the best way to do it, I have found. So I'm gonna work my way all the way around this patch, doing that same procedure. I'm gonna flip it over. I'm going to tack the inside where I overlap a little bit. I'm going for strength, not for looking like it never was patched. It is what it is. This was the nicest one we could find for this build. So I'm going to keep welding up. So there I had blown a hole through that sheet metal. I just went ahead and let it cool down, tacked around that spot. Now obviously if this was the side of a car and we were worried about warping it, we wouldn't be doing it this long of a weld. But with this bend and these beads, and the fact this is just a gas tank skid, I'm not as worried about warping, slight warp to the sheet metal. have a hole like this, sometimes you can do a weld with a backer bar. This is a piece of brass. I'm going to hold that behind the hole, and then I'm going to use that as a backer to hold my weld while I fill that hole up.